Hey guys, I'm S. Dan Wolf, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to Pine Creek Zoo. We are 3 episodes in. I've got quite a bit of work done since episode 2, and I have to give a big shout out to my buddy Leaf. Patrick, he saw how just utterly terrible my my electric charging posts were from the last one, kind of using that little makeshift garden hose, and he come in and actually sent me a message on Twitter. He's like, "Hey man, I think I've got a little bit better charging station for you here." So yeah, that is the new electric parking little grid stations here. So I think that looks a little bit better. And I know a lot of you guys, we'll do an overview for anybody that's new. A lot of you guys were asking about staff parking and the whole staff area. This is like the beginning of their little parking, what will be their parking area, and I've also got them like a little gravel, kind of like a little break picnic area out there if they have to, if they want to eat their lunch outside or whatever. And one of the stories I think will be fun behind the kind of like the staff area in these brick buildings. You see over here like the quarantine and the workshops and all that, those are all like a modern type of spine over here. Well, I figured these buildings, these brick ones, could be like the old zoo administration type buildings, and now I have converted them into like this building right here holds a lot of dry hay, sacks of feed, just different stuff like that. You know, you wouldn't want just setting out totally uncovered in the rain. So yeah, that is kind of the story I'm going by with leaving these brick buildings, really placing these brick buildings here is, yeah, they were old administration buildings, but they have found a way to repurpose them, like this little mechanics workshop here and stuff like that. Now back here, this is some more of the modern type buildings, and this is just like a little, kind of like a little drop off for mulch and extra rocks, and the backhoes can stuff can come in here and kind of grab their stuff and then take it on into the zoo wherever they need to go. This will actually this is going to extend. It may actually head out that way a little, but this is going to be like the main artery of the whole zoo. So even if there's exhibits on each side of it, there'll be operations throughout the back of the zoo, and like me and my buddy were talking about, to help with fire access and all of that stuff. So emergencies and all that. I can't remember who built this truck. I'll put it in the link in the description box below. But I found this on the workshop as well, this emergency truck, and I think they look killer. So I've plopped a couple of them down here, kind of like in the backstage area. Hopefully they're not needed too often, but we have them just in case. And also I brought in Hot Dogs. He's the person that made me the bus, or made the bus, not for me, but I saw it on the workshop and grabbed it up. But Hot Dog also has cars on there, so our parking lot is not totally empty now. So yeah, that was pretty cool that Hot Dog has made those available, and now we do have a few people at the zoo. This person's parked here kind of like a weirdo, probably in there asking questions instead of parking like normal people should. And yeah, so we'll move on right on over here to the entrance area. For anybody that's new, this is our first implied exhibit. This is what would be an American beaver exhibit. So see, you could kind of walk up and watch them swim through their little pond here, and kind of like up into their dam, and kind of watch them add to it. And we put them logs and sticks and stuff in there to try to kind of stimulate them to behave like they normally would in the wild. Over here, this is kind of like one of our feature points of the creek. This is Pine Creek, that hence Pine Creek Zoo, that runs through the length of the zoo. And I was telling people last time, we've got the water higher up here, and then we've got this pretty cool little splash waterfall right here, and the water's lower here. If you didn't catch it last time, I just achieved that with the barrier, the glass barrier right here. So as long as you can make that a little higher than that lower spot, you can have the two-tiered type water level here. And then of course the rapid foam is really important for just kind of telling that story, making it just look like there's a little more action going through here, like a really swift part of the creek. Then kind of once you get past the beaver exhibit, the path turns to gravel. It gets a little more denoised out through here. A lot of foliage. A lot of rock work, pretty dense. I've got this little picnic table type seating area here off to the right. This is the main guest bridge that will take you over into, I don't even know what we'll plan out that way. But you know, we'll get something out there. And then if you keep on going, you come up to our newest attraction, the Boyd family Red Panda Village. So the Boyd family has actually donated the proceeds donated some of their proceeds to fund our Red Panda Village here. So we've got the little indoor section for them, especially when it's on those really, really cold mornings. So I've got a little hammock in there that they could lay in, and different little boxes and just different little play stuff for them to climb on. And out here, this is like the little outdoor side where you can sit there and watch them. And they're over here playing around big time right now. One's up in that pine. These guys are so stinking cute. But yeah, this is Red Panda Village. These are our newest residents of the zoo, and we've got the little elevated path so you can walk a pretty good ways around their exhibit and just kind of see them play and sleep. And they're so fun to watch in real life too, because they really have a Boyd family Red Panda Village at Zoo Knoxville, which, if you don't know, is the closest zoo that I can make it to. It's my local zoo. And so we kind of went with the spirit and the vein of that. We've kind of got the little backstage areas over here. It can all be accessed from the from the staff area. And, to be totally transparent, this was going to be a whole nother exhibit. Up until last night, I actually had some okapis out in here, and this was going to be like the little okapi, kind of like, habitat over here. But then I started thinking about, maybe making it a little smaller and a little more dense. And I thought, wait a minute, what if I tried to recreate the Red Panda Village from Zoo Knoxville? And that is what ended up happening. And here are our 4 little red pandas. And I just love how this whole little area turned out. And it flows with like this whole, like we're seeing nothing's going on right there. And it breaks up that area perfect from, the Beaver Lodge. And then you make your way back through here. And it's just enough cool space to where you can make your way up into the village and just watch these little critters. So I thought that was really, really cool. Another thing I had a pretty neat idea on is the actual creek part. See how right here the creek gets a little bigger and it's a little slower. Like there's no rapids, none of that going on right here. The rapids they end way up here around this bend. So once you get to this big bridge and underneath that, it's really calm. So what I thought about doing is right here, a couple times a day, I don't even know if you would maybe like Beyond Drew said, maybe put a little sign up right here that says the times that the instructors are going to be here. But I thought it would be cool to let the little kids actually come down into the creek. And you see, I've got it fenced off so they can't wander off that way or go underneath the bridge, but teach them about creek life and what are signs of a healthy creek. Like if you see a lot of crawfish or maybe a lot of red-breasted sunfish, red eyes, stuff like that down in here. You may even see some smallmouth bass kind of floating around here and floating around, kind of swimming around here. Don't want to see them floating around. But I thought that would be a pretty neat, just little extra experience kind of coming off the path to let the little kids come down and actually teach them the importance of creeks and taking care of the water and just the whole ecosystem that, that is involved with creeks and how much life that it sustains. And I think that would be a really, really neat part. I know if I was a little kid, I would love to have something like this in a zoo. I'm not even a little kid, and I would love to have something like this in a zoo where you could get down in there and really teach them and have them explore the creek, if you will. And then we've got a smaller little bridge that offshoots, maybe if the parents want to kind of stand up here on the bridge and take pictures and stuff like that. So that was this is more of a kind of like an educational experience, but I still think see, it's got the little sloped beach entry here. I still think the little kids would have an absolute blast being able to actually get down and play in the creek. And one thing I was thinking I don't remember if I was telling Mike Sheets or one of them, I was saying we probably need a changing room kind of right here, kind of like Zoo Knoxville has, or a set of bathrooms. So when that group is done, obviously the parents are going to want to dry the kids off. So probably do a changing room, bathroom style, kind of like turning point right here at this little corner. So we'll get to working on that, and then too, of course, find out what we're going to do right here. We need to, and I was thinking too, I don't have any restrooms set up. I need to kind of try to maybe find a spot to, because usually you see restrooms. Maybe I could even make it like I could set one right there and it would break off of that path, because typically right when you get into the zoo, particularly with parents and stuff, grandparents, what's the first thing you need to do, or first thing you ask? Where's the bathrooms at? So probably need to get an entrance area bathroom put together, and got some more little backstage access over here to get in for cleanup for the Red Panda Village and all that. Got the really, really beautiful bark on these little Himalayan trees. Just got a little bit of shade up here. Like I said, didn't want to overdo it. It's funny, everybody on Bro Nation, all of them have been like, you've done really good about putting an S-Dan spin on it, but not too much. I know sometimes I give you a little bit too much S-Dan Wolf. So that is what I'm trying on this, on this particular project, to trying to rein it in a little bit and, not put too much S-Dan Wolf into it, but still give like that little realism, give the old S-Dan try. One thing that I thought too, that my buddy Jim made a good point. The buses probably wouldn't drop people off on this side. Kind of facing this way, because look, the people would have to get off right here, like right on the street where work vehicles and stuff may be passing by and getting out. So I'm thinking maybe what the buses would do is they would, and this is okay for the buses to actually go up into the staff area to that roundabout, or that turnaround, and they would actually bring them back through here, and the front of the bus would be right here, and they could jump off right here onto the sidewalk. So that was a pretty good little safety issue that he was thinking about right there, that I thought was pretty cool. The only other thing that kind of would break up the realism, though, as well, about the bus drop-off being right here, is in the case of a fire and there's a bus kind of in the way as far as the fire trucks trying to get in here and get hooked up and stuff. But, I guess we're going to take some liberties with this park, but that was a pretty neat observation I thought he had about people jumping off right there. Little kids jumping off the bus and cars and stuff coming back and forth to get out of the staff area. So yeah, and anybody that hasn't seen it, this is the kind of like the beginning little part of the creek that runs by the handicap accessible parking. We've got the bike parking over here. And then it gets really kind of slow, kind of meanders on through to the main, to kind of like the main little gift shop exit building. And then it really kind of ramps up right here, where people would be standing and taking pictures and kind of looking over the railing the most. So may have the maintenance guys leave those logs, because that's a pretty good little aesthetic coming through there as far as the creek and all that goes. I know I'm not doing time lapses this time, guys. I think I am going I'm going full on Mike Sheets Ruble Trillion style with this. I'm having more fun, and I think I'm being more productive kind of doing all of this off camera, like beyond the watchful eye of you guys, and just kind of showing you around of what I've done. I just think that has been a lot more fun for me with this particular zoo series than kind of like trying to record a time lapse for all of it. So I think we're just going to kind of keep this going like this. I'll work on it in the evenings and stuff when I get home from work, and then I'll just kind of jump in and show you guys what I've got accomplished. But anyways, I've kept you guys here for like 15 minutes now. I guess we'll go ahead and let you go. And like last time, as soon as I hit stop record, I think I'm going to jump back in and just kind of start coming up with some more ideas and just little weird stuff to do in our little zoo experiment here. But anyways, guys, I'm S-Dan Wolf. Smash that like button if you end up enjoying this realistic stuff, and don't forget to subscribe to keep up with some more Planet Zoo nonsense here. And yeah, I guess I'll catch you guys in episode 4. See ya.